Hey guys, it's Logan. I am back in the long drive. We left off last time right here at a double building, so let's take a quick peek inside. Ooh, don't want to fall off there. So we can definitely tell that it respawned because there's a bunch of junk laying on the ground. Let's see. Are we? No, we're pretty full. We're not very thirsty. So really, unless there's some gas laying around, there's not a whole lot here that we could use. Let's see. What's in here? Actually, ooh. So, it was mentioned refilling the sponge with water. I don't think we have anything that's dirty though, so what I'm going to do is we are going to take this sponge with us. First place we find something that we can clean, we're going to clean it up. We're going to get rid of the poops in the car, and we are going to see if we can reload the sponge using the water. That was a great idea. I'm really glad you mentioned that. So as we get back on the road, I'm a little annoyed. I went to start recording this episode, and my mic is busted again. It's the exact same issue that it had when I first got it, where it was just blaring out static. So I fixed that by getting a different cable. It's been fine. And then all of a sudden, today it just randomly decides to start doing the exact same thing. Nothing has changed. I used it the other day when I recorded that Minecraft retrospective. Everything was fine. I pulled the mic over today, and it's picking up nothing but static. I've checked for file system errors, I've checked for everything, so the only thing I can conclude is that the cable is bad. It went bad, something happened to it that caused it to start acting that way. Ah, here we go. Although it looks pretty clean already. Yeah, it's already clean. Dang it. I mean, my cat did knock over a trash can, but I mean, that's a trash can. It's a little plastic bin. It should not have hurt that cable enough to break it. So I'm rather annoyed. I bought another one. It should be here Monday, but I'm really annoyed because everything says it should be working. I've tried different XLR cables, I've swapped everything out except for the phantom power, which I can't because I don't have another one. But considering it's doing the exact same thing that the original cable that did not work, I can only conclude that it is the cable. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't really know what else to do about it other than try a new cable. I mean, they're cheap-ish, they're like 16, 17 bucks. So, of course, if it doesn't work, then I can just send it back to Amazon, whatever. Because, of course, there's nobody in my local area that sells these cables. It's one of those things that locally I just cannot buy. Now, I could get it online through like Office Depot and have it shipped, but that's going to take me just as long or longer and be more expensive than Amazon. So I'm back on the old mic today. That's probably why. If it sounds a little different to you, that's going to be why. But we're rocking the road. We will adapt. We will overcome. We will survive. Just like we survived that. Boop. That actually... You know what? I'm happy with that. That's the first actual like wreck that we've had in quite some time. So I'm okay with it. Rock came out of nowhere. It got us fair and square. I will take it. So I went to the movies yesterday for the first time in a long time. I think the last movie I saw in theaters was Spider-Man. The newest one, whatever it's called. No Way Home? Maybe? I don't remember. Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. Yeah. So I went and saw it in theaters. Or was it the Batman? Whichever one was newer, either the Batman or Spider-Man No Way Home. I saw both of those. I don't remember which one was sooner. Anyway, I saw a movie in theaters for the first time since then last night. I went and watched, what's it called, Barbarian. Man, let me tell you, the trailers were misleading. I'm not going to give nothing away. It's a brand new movie. It just came out. So I don't want to spoil it if anybody's planning on it. But I felt very misled by the trailers. And it had this weird, dark humor in it that, I mean, I laughed. But the whole movie, I was sitting there thinking, is this meant to be funny, or is the dialogue just not great? And I can't take it seriously. But I looked it up, and apparently it was like written or directed by one of the guys from The Whitest Kid You Know. So that explains some of the comedy elements to it. But yeah, I mean, I kind of want to go back and rewatch it just so I can watch it again knowing what I do about it. See if I notice anything different, see if it hits differently. Because I feel like when you expect a movie to be one thing and it's not that, you're always going to be a little disappointed. It's like that. I'm not a Matt Damon fan. If Matt Damon is in a movie, 9 times out of 10, I will avoid the movie even if I want to see it, just because Matt Damon is in it. The exception being The Martian. The Martian was a fantastic movie, and I watched it even with him being in it. However, there was one movie that he was in a few years ago that everybody said the trailers were extremely misleading about. They kind of billed it as a comedy, and apparently that's like the first quarter of the movie, which is where all the material for the trailer came from. And then the last 3/4 of the movie were about like global warming and things like that. It's just, it was not apparently what people expected or wanted. So if you're familiar with it, I think it was called, what was it called, downsizing. They developed some process to shrink humans down to like little army men size. And you can do that and your wealth grows like almost exponentially because you're consuming and using so much less. So you go in with, I think it's like $1,000 and you're a millionaire in like tiny people money. And so they kind of played it off as being a comedy about them adjusting to being little and dealing with the big people and all the things that kind of go with that. Made it seem like it was going to be really funny. Apparently it was not at all. But Matt Damon, I missed it, so I didn't really have to worry about bait and switch on that. But I hate bait and switch trailers. If your trailer should do just enough to entice me to want to see your movie, tell me a little bit about, back on the road. Tell me just enough about your movie, its plot, the settings, all of that to get me intrigued. Is it a spy movie? Is it a war movie? An action movie? A horror movie? Whatever. Give me just enough that I'm interested. Movies today are, it seems like they're either bait and switch on their trailers, or, thought I had the brake on, or, there we go. It gives everything away. And nobody wants either of those. Like, you want an accurate representation of what you're going to get, but you also want to still be surprised. It is atrocious when you go in, watch a movie, and you know everything that happens because the trailer gave it away. Nobody wants that. I don't want that anyway. Hopefully you guys don't want that. Maybe you do. I don't know. Anyway, movies. They showed a couple of trailers. So of course I love horror movies. They showed a couple of trailers for various other horror movies that looked pretty good. This might be too far rusted for me to clean. The fridge is pretty shiny. I don't think I can do anything with it. Should be able to clean this though. There we go. So clean that. Is there anything else here that we can clean? Can we clean the basket? It's making bubbles. Makes me think we can. I don't see anything happening though. Come on. Come on. No. Okay. We can't clean those things. I don't see anything else here to clean. Maybe That looks pretty clean. What about this one? Is it? I think it looks pretty clean too. We'll give it a shot really fast though. I don't see it doing anything. But it is still making bubbles. The bubbles mean that it's cleaning, right? Like, that's what I always thought. I don't know, it looks pretty dang clean. Alright, we'll put it back in the trunk, we'll move on. Because I do want to see, why did I crouch instead of there? Do. Okay, and off we go. So we are still looking for some parts and pieces. We need these little side mirrors, which are in an odd spot, and I don't think we can adjust them. I've tried before. Need our visors, instrument cluster, and glove box door. It would be really nice if there was a way to bring spares of all of that with us, but it's quite difficult, so we tend to not do it. Maybe we'll try. It depends. That's if we ever come across another one of these. The only one that we've come across since we took the tinted windows was that one from, I think it was last week, that despawned when the game crashed and I lost everything. Anyway, so if you guys watched the Minecraft thing, I appreciate it. It's gotten actually quite a few views. I know it's not the normal kind of stuff I do on here, which is long drive content, of course. But yeah, like I said, Michael's video just kind of got me interested in my old world. I really wanted to go back. I spent a lot of time in it, and I had to actually reload that world twice just in the less than 2 hours that I was recording the video, because there's so much stuff in it that my system, like, I don't know if I've told you guys the updated specs. I've got 32 gigs of memory, a Ryzen 7 5800X, a 3080 Ti, and it was bogging down that world where it was just so big. There was so much stuff going on, so many chunks loaded in, that one spot you could see that I wasn't even able to accurately jump because the dang thing would just lag out. It was terrible. Of course, a restart of the game world, getting rid of all those loaded chunks helped, but as soon as I got back in and started moving around, going to places, it started up again. So that world may end up just having to... I can probably clean that. Come back here. That world may end up just being kind of a archive, and I'm just not able to do anything with it. And of course, I've never really been huge into Minecraft. It's never been... like, I enjoy it, but I've always been one of those people that would play it... diesel. Long enough to kind of get a farm, get a house, get some animals, build a few things, and then... autosave. And then I'm off starting a new world because I got bored. This is... I don't know if this is too rusty to clean or not. Let's try it. Come on. Don't be too rusty. Yeah, I think it's too rusty. It's not cleaning. Why? Come on, come on. Ah. So we know we've used this twice now. Are we hungry? Yeah, we were a little hungry. I don't see anything else here to clean. Oh, there's a little bit of gas, a little bit of oil. I don't know if we need either of those. Let's find out. Well, I know we need the gas. I know that we need the gasoline. We always need, with the V8, we always need the gasoline. That's just a given. There we go. It's a shame I missed it. Okay, do we need the oil? Yeah, we could use the... Oh. Saw the exhaust fumes and thought there was a rabbit or something up there. We could definitely use the engine oil. So let's grab that. Dump it in. And we are full of engine oil. Our radiator's not losing any, so that's good. Why did... Okay. You're closed, you're closed, you're closed. You're closed, you're closed. Didn't open that door. Okay. Sheesh. Oh, Lord have mercy. I tell you. Sometimes I wonder about myself. Like, I knew I didn't close the hood. I got in the car anyway. Of course, there's nothing worse than when you forget to close either the oil cap, the radiator cap, or the gas cap, have a massive wreck, and all of your liquid just goes right out. That is... It's just so disheartening, because you had stuff in there, you were running, you were doing good, and then... death. It's just terrible. At least I don't think on this run we've been killed by the door. I absolutely detest it when that happens. That's one of the most ridiculous things. I still haven't heard anything about an update coming for this game. I saw that coming. I swear there's a new rock. But yeah, I haven't seen an update coming. So I don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully it'll be one soon. Hopefully. We'll cross our fingers. I've been trying to finish up the Spider-Man port over to PC. The main storyline is done. I've 100%ed the first DLC, the Black Cat DLC, and then I'm at like 88-90% completion on the main game world, so now it's just the Collectathon. One of the first things I did was get all the backpacks. So it's just the Collectathon of doing all the side missions, catching the pigeons, doing all of that stuff. Which is tedious and repetitive, but it's worth it. I want to see that 100%, which is rare. I don't normally 100% games, but for some reason they've done a good job in Spider-Man of making me want to actually autosave, to actually go a little bit of gas and complete the game. Now some of it's a little annoying, like the screwball missions in the first DLC. I did not care for those. I thought that was just kind of a waste of time. And then... oh, the almost endless waves of bad guys in the bases. Because it's like, okay, I took out all the bad guys with stealth, time to move on. Oh no, that was the first wave of 5 or 6, and you can't stealthily take down every single wave. As soon as you finish wave 1, they know exactly where you are. So that's rather annoying. It is fun to do the stealthy mission though. No, let me rephrase that. It is fun to play as Spider-Man and do those stealthily. It is not fun to be forced to play as Miles or MJ and be told, you have to do this stealth. I don't like that. I like being given the option of stealth, but when you tell me if I get caught the mission's immediately failed, that drives me bananas. There's something out there. What is that? Is that farmhouse? So we definitely want to be checking, it's farmhouse, the farmhouses, so we can see if one of these spawn in. Because they do have quite a few cars usually spawn in. So let's see if we got lucky and anything of use spawns. There's something that spawned in. It's a little car. Road's up there. We can use our sponge though, so we can finish the sponge off. A couple of bumpers, which of course we don't need them anymore. That would be our luck. Although we can take the visors from this. Okay, so this one is done, the sponge. An old big engine. Deep-a-deep-a-dee, some food. Are we hungry again? Not particularly. We need to potty. Ooh, a bucket of water. Okay, so here's the test. So we put the bucket, or the... Well, actually, let's just try to drop the sponge in the bucket. That doesn't work. Okay, didn't think it would. And then we can take the bucket, and then we bring the bucket over, and we slowly... Okay, we poured the bucket of water onto the sponge. Sponge is still not useful. So we cannot, from the looks of it, reload the sponge. However, that was just from a bucket. So we are going to try to reload the sponge from a water faucet, which means we need, what do we need? A double building, a diner, or a water tower to find out. Alright, so we will try that. Chris, you just got back from vacation. Congrats, I hope it was a great one. I've never been to Louisiana. I have traveled... Have I left? I've been to Wisconsin. And then other than that, I have been to every state east of the Mississippi, with the exception of Alabama, Vermont. Yeah, I did my trip to New England a few years ago and I missed Vermont just because of the bath and I didn't realize it at the time. And I've never been to Alabama. I think that's it. I think I've been to every other state east of the Mississippi. So of course next is heading out west and hitting those states. Although there's some of them while I would like to go, there's enough about them that makes me not want to go, such as California, Oregon, Washington. Beautiful states, but they've got some serious issues going on right now that I don't want to go. I guess I could always find like smaller cities to go to. I mean, you don't have to go visit like San Francisco or Spokane or Portland, whatever. You know, you can go visit smaller towns and meet real people. But, yeah, I've got a trip planned next month. I'm going back to West Virginia. I'm going to go to Point Pleasant, home of the infamous Mothman. So I'm really looking forward to that. Go and get me a picture of the Mothman statue, go to the museum. Probably buy me a Mothman t-shirt because I can't go to the Mothman museum and not buy a Mothman t-shirt, let's be honest. We will see. Hopefully that'll be a fun trip. I'm looking forward to it. Just a couple of days early in the week. I'm going out. It's like Monday. And, oop, bouncy. And staying a little ways outside of Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant is so small. They only have, I think, it's like one hotel. And it's supposedly haunted. I think... Oop, rocking the road. I want to say I looked at it and the prices were just too high or they were booked. I'm going in mid-October, early mid-October, so a lot of people are heading up that way for fall and Halloween. However, I'm staying about an hour outside of, what is happening? About an hour outside of Point Pleasant, which is, what's that? Oh, jeez. I don't think we need anything there. Come on. In Huntington, which is where, was that University? Crap. I just completely forgot the name of that university. Anyway, there's a big university there. So I'm going to be staying there, and coincidentally, right down the road, like 15 minutes or something, is the famous Pumpkin House, which I think I've mentioned before. So we'll be going and checking that out. It won't be lit up. They only do that, I think, the 30th and 31st of October. But I'll get to go see it. Kenosha? Is it Kenosha? Canova. Canova. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, we'll go see that. So, really looking forward to that trip, and it comes the week right after my birthday. So, looking forward to it. I'll have my birthday, weekend, and then trip up to West Virginia. So that should be a fun birthday weekend rolled into a small 3-day vacation. And then, actually, I ordered the new iPhone. I pre-ordered it yesterday, day before. When did they go on sale? Yesterday. Pre-ordered a new iPhone 14 Pro. I didn't go with the Pro Max. I've got the Pro Max now, the 13. And don't judge me, I got a really good deal. I'm only paying like $250 for this phone. I don't want to hear it. But I decided for the slightly smaller one. It's got all the same specs, just a slightly smaller screen and a little bit smaller battery. Still crazy good battery life. So I think I'll get more than enough battery out of it to not have to worry about the loss in battery size. The Pro Max, it's a great phone. I love it. I've never had a problem with it. It's just so big and heavy. Oh, one of these places, the bunkers, they have water spigots. But yeah, it's just so big and heavy and bulky that it really makes it hard. There we go. To carry around sometimes. And so I opted for the slightly smaller option this time. Went for just black. Thought about getting the purple. It looked pretty... What? Now why did it just randomly move? And why can I not move it back? And it's dark, so I can't see the sponge. So let's have us a sleep. But yeah, I thought about getting the purple. It looked kind of cool, but I keep a case on mine, so I never see the color anyway. And then my last one, I had a D-brand skin. Where's the sponge? Is that it? There it is. I always kept a skin or a case or whatever on it, so I was always missing the color anyhow. Alright, so let's drop this. Let's turn the water on. Alright, so it's definitely collecting water. We can see it bouncing off. No. That did not work. That was a good idea. And I mean, actually, let's see, we can try. I don't think it will work. No, so the sponge is not refillable. We can refill the squirt bottles, but we cannot fill the sponges. Actually, we just need to get down here and drink. We're a little thirsty. There's a drink. There's food. Oh, loud. It's amusing that you have to pause a video game to actually take a bathroom break in the game. Alright. Come on, there we go. I think we were actually looking at that, which was causing it to not go down, which is gross, but it is what it is. Crowbar. There's a fridge, but we're full. There's a trailer, but they are janky. I do feel like the trailers get less janky when they are full of stuff. Something like the weight helps kind of keep it down and keep it going, as opposed to just bouncing and flipping all over the place. Because one of my single player games, well, solo games, was a trailer. And once I got some stuff in it, it was fine. I never had a problem. I had one big truck pulling a convoy of like 6 trailers, like the big ones, and it was fine. It just seems like it's when you first put it on and there's no weight, that it just kind of seems to bounce all over the place. Shoot, Devil Road. Devil Road. I can't call that anything but a Devil Road. Just because of old Scapegoat. I haven't watched any of his stuff in a while, so I don't know if he's still playing the drive or not. I saw a couple of times on YouTube that he was doing live streams with somebody doing, oh, another Devil Road, SnowRunner or MudRunner 1, which are fantastic games. I love them. It took me a while to figure out like the mechanics of it, because I would just drive forward and immediately get stuck in the mud. I thought, I don't understand this game. But once I kind of got used to it and learned how you're supposed to play it, I really got into it. I played SnowRunner quite a bit. I'll still go back to it from time to time, pick it up and play for a little while. It's a really fun game to play while you're watching YouTube or a movie, some kind of mindless. Speaking of watching things in the background, so like, you guys know I work from home. So a lot of times while I'm working, I'll have YouTube or a movie or TV, something just playing in the background for noise. So I've started putting on Law and Order, Special Victims Unit. Whew, boy. That show, I can't usually watch more than about 3 episodes in a day before my mental health just says like, nope, like you just need to stop. This show is not meant to binge. Nobody needs to watch 3 hours back to back to back of Special Victims Unit. There's just, we weren't meant for it. We don't like it. It's no bueno. Alright, come on, let's get lucky. Oh, nope. Oh, we at least got a car this time. It's not the one we wanted, though. There's a lot of crap in here. There's a yellow striped door. Some toilets, bunch of bumpers, engines. So I don't do it a lot on here just because I don't want to bore you guys to death. One of the things I do a lot when I'm just playing this game just for funsies with myself, anytime I stop and there's enough parts to make a car like that, I pretty much always stop and build the car. I'll put the panels, I'll clean it, I'll try to paint it one color, and usually roll it out to the road. Kind of just like a... pick that up. Like if I'm on the way back or something happens, I know there's going to be cars that are completed and ready to go scattered around. And it's never happened, I've never had to do that. But in the back of my mind, it just kind of makes sense, and it's... oh jeez. It's a little comforting knowing that while I will most likely never take a bunch of gas in here, need it, it is there if I do. Alright, so what are you? You're diesel, but we can take you. That gives us 19 sprays, so that's good. Where's gas? Coolant is empty. Not really worried about it though, because our coolant pretty much always stays full, and we don't overheat. Where did the can go? There it is. Gotcha. Close that, and this, and close this. And then we're going to come over here, get back on the road, and then we're going to hit the e-brake, and friends, we're going to call it here. Hopefully, that caught you off guard. If not, I tried. Guys, I think we're going to stop right here. This seems like a good stopping point. I've been rambling for a while. We've made some good distance. We can see our sunglasses through the window, which is kind of trippy. There's a dust storm over there. We need to drive through a dust storm one day. The road keeps going. We still haven't found parts and pieces for this thing. We will eventually. I have no doubt. We just need to get a matching black bumper. But guys, thank you for watching so much. I do appreciate it. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, it's good to see you again. So guys, I'm Logan, this is The Long Drive, and I will catch you next time.